Hey guys, welcome to the video today. So it is time for me to do a rear tire swap on my bike. The old one's starting to look pretty beat up, and I was running a Maxxis Assegai on the back end, which honestly it was working really well, but I want to try the DHR2. So let's change her out. So first step, remove your wheel. So next up, we will take all the air out of the tire and we'll remove our valve core. So I have muck off tubeless valve stems, so the cap actually comes with the core remover, which is pretty darn handy to have on you. So the next thing I'll do is just break the bead all the way around the tire. This could get a little messy sometimes, depending on how much sealant is still in your tire. And then repeat the same on the other side. I need to go around and make sure that the bead is well broken, because the sealant can really get sticky sometimes. Here, I'll show you. So you can see that right there, how stuck that sealant is. So that's gonna give you a hard time getting that off. So if you have your tire nice and loose and right in the middle all the way around, a lot of times you can get it off just with your hands without even using a tire lever. But with a tire lever, just work it all the way around like that. You can see how sticky that old sealant is. Once you have it off over halfway, it should come off relatively easy. And then you can just force it off like that. There we go. So if you have fairly recently topped up your tire, or maybe you're changing your tire because you put a massive hole in it and there's still sealant in there, you can grab like an aerosol can lid or something and scoop it out and reuse the liquid portion of your sealant. There is almost nothing left in here, and that is a mess. You can see how sticky that stuff is. And for the record, yeah, this stuff smells absolutely horrible. But you can see how all the way around sealant is coated nicely. So yeah, any punctures is gonna get plugged up. So into the garbage that one goes. So now you're gonna want to make sure your tire is nice and clean. Get rid of all the sealant, especially on your bead. If you don't have a nice clean bead, it's a good chance you're gonna have a hard time getting your tire to seal. So this part kind of sucks. It's a little bit tedious. I don't know, you could try some Goo Gone or something like that. Just do a good inspection, make sure that there's no nicks or holes in your rim tape. Okay. Now we'll unpackage the new tire. Like I said before, I'm going with the Maxxis Minion DHR2, which I've never ran before. So take it out. If it's a foldable one like this, and I just unfold it. Make sure there's no big kinks in your bead. Yeah, just make it round. If you are running tubeless, make sure that you've chosen a tire that is tubeless rated. Not all tires are. With Maxxis, they say right on them, TR, tubeless ready. Another thing to note is a lot of tires are directional. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you put this on the right direction. So just keep that in mind. So an easy way to tell with Maxxis tires is one side only says Maxxis on it, and the other side has all of the labels. All this side with the labels is on your drivetrain side, on the chain side. So a lot of people like to line up. Let's say we'll line up the Maxxis with the valve stem. Sure, maybe it's easier to find. And we'll just start to work this over. Okay, I've got one side in, I can start to work the other side on. So this is always the hardest part. You can get some, say, soapy water and spray your tire just to make it a little bit slipperier if you're using tire irons. Key thing is to make sure that both beads are kind of right in the middle of your rim. That'll give you the maximum amount of room, and a lot of times you can just curl it over like that. Didn't even need a tire iron. Now, the exciting part. There's a couple options for this step. I try and inflate it without any sealant in it first. A lot of people will try, before they snap that last bead in, they'll pour their sealant in. I like to inflate my tire kind of first. It will be leaking and that's fine, but it establishes, basically it gets the bead on the edge of your rim. With my sealant, it comes with injector. So you take your valve core out and you just squirt it in after. It's super easy that way. I find it's less messy, less chance you're gonna spill sealant all over the place. So yeah, you can use an air compressor to try and seat this, or you can use your floor pump. I'll try and do this the hard way with the floor pump. So at this point, you want to just try and pull your bead as far out as you can on the rim. Okay. So for this step, I'm just going to put my valve core back in temporarily because my pump requires it in there. So, that easy. So I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but you can actually see this line around the tire. And if I rotate this tire, you can see that that line kind of disappears at this point. So it's not seated correctly, which is fine. Just keep putting air in it and it will eventually pop, and it makes kind of a horrible sound that's a little bit alarming. There we go. So now I'm just going to inspect all the way around, make sure the bead is sat. I have a nice consistent line just on the outside of the rim. So yeah, I just did that with like a $20 Canadian Tire pump and a little bit of effort. So you don't need anything special, you don't need an air compressor. This thing is silent. I don't even have any sealant in it, and it is completely sealed. So now I gotta add some sealant. So drain the air. The bead generally will stay on the rim. Sometimes not. As far as the sealant goes, I'm using orange seal. Just make sure, here's orange seal, it's got the nice little just filler tube that goes into the valve stem. Make sure you just follow the recommended amount. Every tire sealant is going to be different. They're probably, for a 29-inch wheel like that, they're usually around 4 ounces. And make sure you shake it very well. So I've measured 4 ounces of tire sealant in this bottle, which is what Orange Seal recommends. And this hose just conveniently fits over the valve stem. And you just kind of gently squeeze in the sealant. Now the valve core goes back in for the last time. I'll use my trusty muck off valve core wrench here. Snug it up. Now I can re-inflate the tire. Okay, so I inflated it to a little bit more than I would like. I got 40 psi in there now. Now I'm just gonna make sure the bead is set all the way around. And now let's work the sealant around the tire. And good to go. I can put this back on.